Hey guys, I'm Sam LG. Welcome to my channel. If you guys haven't figured out from the title of the video yet what car I'm in right now, it is a Porsche 944 from 1983. I was actually very lucky that a good friend of mine decided to let me drive this car and review it, which is just fantastic. Thank you so much. And with that said, let's jump into the review. For the car being naturally aspirated, that sounds fantastic. I'm sure the microphone and the camera doesn't do it justice, but that is so cool. So cool. So, first impressions of the car, it's really cool. That's like the best way I can put it. They don't make cars like this anymore, and this is really nice. From the shots you guys saw from the outside, I mean, it's got the pop-up headlights. It's a hatchback. The car is actually rear-wheel drive, which is really fun. I don't think I would use it as a drift car ever, but this is really cool. The car itself, it has no power steering, which makes steering a little bit tougher than usual, but hey, I mean, you gotta get used to it. Everything in this car is super basic. You're not gonna find, although in this one it does have power windows. I mean, obviously you're not gonna see something like a navigation system in this car. Don't expect a push button start, although I'm sure you can add that stuff into it later, although it wouldn't make sense to do so, just because it's such a nice classic car, and I would actually try to keep it this way. It's definitely a lot of fun to drive. I mean, the shifter, it's super loose, so it's really hard to tell if you're in gear or not, which makes it all the more fun to drive. I mean, all these little quirks and stuff, it just makes it really fun. I mean, like in my car sometimes denies you first gear, so you'd have to throw it into neutral, let go of the clutch, push the clutch back in, and then re-engage first gear to get it to go. Same idea, although in this one I haven't had any trouble in first gear yet, so we're lucky there. Super awesome car. It's a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine, and it's actually based off the Porsche 924 platform. There were 160,000 of these cars produced from 1982 to 1991, and it was the most successful car Porsche had created. That is up until Porsche created the Boxster and the 977 Carrera. But I mean, up until that point, these cars were like the best. There was the 924 and there was the 914, and this helped kind of bridge the gap between the performance of those guys. So this car's stock, according to Porsche, made 160 horsepower at the time, and that coming out of a 4-cylinder 2.5 liter engine is just phenomenal. To have that kind of power way back in 83 was just insane. Let's kind of jump into some other quirks this car has, aside from the power steering not being there and the shifter. The clutch pedal engages super far back compared to in my car. It's about halfway in the Speed 3, and in this one it's more up toward the top, like almost right before it lets go. It's a really different feeling to get used to. In fact, while I'm taping this, I'm having a lot of trouble doing the shifting, so I am actually stopping the video, shifting, and then continuing the video. You guys are just seeing brakes in the video while I'm actually doing all the shifting stuff. I do have a soft spot for pop-up headlights, and this car has them, so it's just like really fantastic day for me being able to drive something like this. I know I shouldn't be excited about such a basic thing, but I've never driven a car that's got pop-up headlights, so it's just all the more fun to drive something like this. Now, as far as performance for the car, it drives really, really well. I'm not even going to try to push it up into the higher RPM range just because it's not my car and I don't want to do anything to, you know, damage it or do anything like that. Based on how I am driving it, I mean, and I'm driving it like almost a grandma would drive her car, but super comfortable. It's very just like an ordinary drive. In fact, it's actually driving much better than my car is. You can feel the road less in this car, and likely some of the reasons for that are because the tires in this car have a much higher profile than on mine. Mine are pretty low. And suspension, although the owner of the car said that the suspension or the comfort of the car is super stiff, it's not as stiff as my car. So I mean, I don't know. I'm definitely enjoying every second I can driving this car. It's a lot of fun to drive. To go along with performance, the braking in this car is also kind of harder to do, kind of going along with the no power steering thing. But for being a car built in 1984, the brakes in this car are phenomenal still. They work out really well. They have really good stopping power. So moving on to the entertainment and electronic section of the review, there's not a whole lot to really discuss because for being 1983, technology wasn't as advanced back then as it is now. So with that said, the car still does have power windows, which is great. The audio system in the car also is, well, it's there. It does need to be changed, but it's still there. It had the standard AM/FM radio like most cars did, and I mean, super basic. This car didn't really come with a whole lot, but with everything it did have, it's still really, really great. I mean, it's got AC, it's got a heater, it's got everything really. Now granted, it is showing its age with things kind of falling apart. I mean, the steering wheel here is kind of crumbling a little bit with the leather, but I mean, aside from that, the car is in fantastic shape. I mean, you guys saw from the outside pictures, the body looks fantastic and everything is just great. So like I said, the car has AC, the car has a heater. However, not all of the steps on the heater actually work for this car. It's just another tiny quirk that needs to be fixed, which will just occur later down the line. The owner of the car did, however, one of the major things he did to this car was that he actually replaced the engine with the same engine that was originally on the car. One thing you guys might have seen in the montage that I made at the beginning of the video was the fact that the hood has a BMW logo on it. Now, what's actually happened is the original Porsche logo fell off of the hood, and with the BMW insignia just kind of laying around, the owner just pretty much took it and put it on the hood just for fun. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, it's still got the Porsche logos everywhere else, and it just makes for an awesome story to tell other people. It's great. It's really fun. Aside from those little quirks, there's not really much wrong with this car, and it's just really fun to drive. Granted, it's a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, but I don't know. You see a lot of YouTubers out there that have the Lamborghini, they have a Ferrari, or most of them have a Nissan GTR now. You don't see a lot of YouTubers out there that have classic cars like this. And that's awesome. I shouldn't say that's awesome, but it's really cool to find that YouTuber or that person that does have something like this, because it makes reviewing the car all the more fun. I mean, yeah, you can get to 0 to 60 in like 2 point whatever seconds, but it's a lot more fun getting to 60 miles an hour than just to get there really fast. I mean, I've got friends who talk about owning a Tesla and the fact that it can go 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds, and while that's great, it doesn't strike me and probably most other drivers as fun. Yeah, it might be fun the first few times, but for me and a lot of other YouTubers out there, the fun comes from getting to 60 miles an hour. So it doesn't really matter how fast you get there, but how you get there. It's really fun to just shift through the gears, you know, 1 through 4, 1 through 5, 6, whatever it might be. And just kind of have fun driving. But then you have the Lamborghini or the Ferrari that can go 0 to 60 just by shifting 2 gears, and then you're like, okay, now what? And to go along with that, you're driving in a city for the most part, so why would you ever need to go 0 to 60 that fast? Most likely you're going to be stuck in traffic and the car in front of you is not nearly that fast, so what are you going to do? That's why these cars are much more fun to drive, because, I mean, the whole experience and the fun out of it is getting there. That's really what I feel Porsche is trying to do. They don't want to, even though they do have the GT3 RS and all those other cars, they don't make the cars to go 0 to 60 in whatever seconds it might be. They make the car fun to drive. They make it so you have to switch through all these gears. So what are my thoughts on the Porsche 944? It's a great car, fantastic driver, a lot of fun to drive. Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of those modern features that, let's say, my car would have, but I really don't care. It's all about the experience. It's about driving the car. Yeah, it doesn't have power steering, so steering is a little bit tougher, but hey, what's the big deal? Just be more careful when you're steering the car, and you should be fine. In fact, it actually saves you a trip to the gym. Really great arm workout with this, turning the steering wheel left to right. Anyway, great car. Again, thank you to the owner for letting me drive it. So with that said, thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know driving this car, I definitely did. Now that I will have the first video out, I'm gonna be getting more and more videos like this. So definitely expect a lot more reviews coming up, and that's about it. So please subscribe, please like this video, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out. Bye.